Just a couple more minutes to allow a few more people to come in. Welcome everybody to the Master the Art of Energy Healing, Stress Release, Unlock Your Intuition, and Elevate Your Well-Being. I'm so happy that you all could join me today for this webinar. I am really excited to bring you what I know and the skills that I have, so that we can um, enhance your well-being and look forward to presenting this information to you so that you can live a healthier, fuller life, stress-free. This is really something that I hope that um, you can not only learn for yourself, but you will be able to teach it to friends and family and your kids, spouse, and maybe use it for work. And there's just so many applications to learning stress release. I really want, somebody asked me, my question that I get asked all the time is, what do you do? What do you do for work? Well, you know, I kind of joke and say that I've never waited tables and I'm not a diesel mechanic, but I probably have done everything else in between. I have a medical background and I am intuitive. And so I have this very scientific mind, but yet I do really have the ability to know, feel, and all of those, all that goes with being clairvoyant. And so being clairvoyant isn't usually the first thing out of my mouth when somebody asks, "What do you do?" I usually stick to the more acceptable answer of, I do medical billing and I do practice management and a more mainstream type of profession. But honestly, I am my kids' mom, even though they're adults. And I have learned over the years how to take care of our family um, by using my intuition, kind of like that mother's intuition, and that knowingness, and sought out answers when mainstream medical didn't really have the answers for me. So essentially, I became doctor mom, if you will. Um, I've never been a doctor. I'm not a doctor on TV or any of those kinds of things, but I am my kid's mom, and I have ministered to their health over the years. Um, so I wanted to welcome you to this foundational course today, Master the Art of Healing, Release Stress, Unlock Your Intuition, and Elevate Your Well-Being. And if you get a chance, you could just drop a comment in to the chat and let me know, what do you hope to get out of this webinar today so that I can tailor the expectations. What are your hopes and where you're from? That would be fabulous. I'm Marie Matteson, and if you've been searching for clarity, healing, transformation, you're in the right place. Um, if you've ever felt stuck and been completely overwhelmed by stress, it disconnects you from your intuition. You're not sure of how you shift your energy. I get it. I've spent over 20 years learning how to navigate this world of energy medicine. It's really where um, science meets the energy and intuition. And I've been helping people for over 20 years relate and release their emotional blockages, regain their energy, their balance, their strength, and be guiding them with their intuitive abilities. I want to show you how to do the same. So that's why I'm inviting you to this webinar. And I want to walk you through the foundational technique of 1 minute stress release. I teach this in my course. I like to say I could probably teach it to kindergartners, and if we taught it to kindergartners, we probably would have a whole lot less stress through our entire lives because we have a skill that you can take with you wherever you go. Um, I like people to be able to break free from their overwhelm and from the things that are nagging. Right now for me, it's tax season. You can't even see my schmutz. I shoved it over from my desk because I have to work on my taxes as a self-employed person. These are obligations that I have to take care of and master. So I have to gather all those things together, and it is quite stressful. Even though I don't actually fill out the form, I have to gather everything for the CPA, and I find that to be nerve-wracking. And I've got it down to a checklist and all these kinds of things, but it is still a little bit of a challenge, right? Stressful. So, what we're going to cover today is let me just advance the slide for you. Um, what if your body already knows how to heal? Because healing isn't something that you find, it's something that you remember. So, your body knows homeostasis, it knows that balanced place. We just have to give you the tools that are accessible so that your body can remember where that homeostasis is. And that's really what my foundational course is about, this mastery of energy healing. So, I read this recently and it really resonated with me. Action takers are abundance makers. So, are you ready to learn how to master your healing energy? Right on. Drop a hell yes in the chat for me. Fabulous. I'll just give you a little bit about me. Um, Kind of funny because I type in and I'm like, oh gosh, and there's this and this and this, and it's a little bit overwhelming to even type it all out. So bear with me. I have a degree in applied health studies with a minor in psychology. I'm certified practitioner in quantum biofeedback and energy healing techniques. I have studied and worked for chiropractors, acupuncturists, naturopaths. I am a licensed massage therapist and I do and have worked in physical therapy departments. I have advanced training in medical intuitive and vibrational healing. I have over 20 years experience working as a medical intuitive and healer. I am the author of 3 books, a stress relief book, 1 minute stress release, a coloring book on manifestation, and a children's book based on the 1 minute stress release, very simplified for children. I created the 1 minute stress release after I wrote a double-blind study in 2010. I'm also an educator and consultant with medical billing using a software called Office Ally. I years ago was mentored by the rock and roll psychic Andrew Brewer, and I gained deep intuitive insight after being mentored by Andrew, and I truly appreciated his uh, assistance with that. I have presented with Caroline Sutherland, the medical intuitive part to her medical intuitive, how to become a medical intuitive in her workshops. And I participated in a study at Duke University, the Rhine Institute, of over 300 psychics. We were all studied for our various skills and abilities. Quite fascinating. I have clients that are professionals from Hollywood and the White House and Fortune 500 companies. I do quite a bit of work as an intuitive, a medical communicator, animal communicator, and energy healer for humans, for pets, for horses, for performance animals. I specialize in quantum biofeedback, muscle testing. I have an enhanced emotion code sequence that I use. I'm a psychic medium, remote viewer, and you can see the rest. And so I have a lot of tools in my toolbox to help with people's health. So here's what we're going to cover today. What are these techniques and how do they help? 1 minute stress release is what I based my book on, because stress isn't something to fight. It's actually a signal that helps to guide you. And we get a bit in overwhelm. And so I want to teach you the technique today to get you out of overwhelm, to calm the anxiety, and create a balance for you moving forward from this day forward. I'm also going to discuss a little bit about muscle testing, because your body already knows what it needs. You just need to interpret how to ask. And muscle testing and other techniques like that will give you the answers that you seek. Um, in my course that I teach, I show an energy protection, several different ways that you can uh, increase your energy around you and how to protect yourself. And then also because of intuition, and we can strengthen it, and we can teach you, I can teach you how to guide yourself and trust yourself with your intuition. And really, that's what is most helpful. So I like to stop and ask, how do you know when you're stressed? Susan says she knows when she's stressed because she immediately has to run to the bathroom. Well, yeah, that could be like a digestive upset, or your kidneys kick in and you have to pee because you're have some adrenaline going, perhaps. Stress is really one of those um, physiologies that happen in our body. We get into that flight, fight mode. And really, what I want to teach you today is this 1 minute stress release technique. If you think of telling somebody bad news, right? What do you tell them to do? You tell them to sit down, because when you give somebody bad news or it's stressful and they can't hold their body up and they kind of crumble, right? So in this image, we see a woman that's stressed and she's holding her forehead as if to hold her head up. It's like blocking it out, holding herself up, just totally in overwhelm. And so it's interesting to me that we actually have an innate sense of what we should do for stress. You maybe just didn't recognize it as a sign. So the 1 minute stress release technique is able to access where your memories are possibly stored. And those memories could be and are often stress memories. Okay. So in my book, I go into great length to discuss and tell you the reasons why. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to show you the technique and give you a little background. So we take in bits of information like 10,000 bits per second, but our brain can only process about 2,000 bits per second of everything that goes in. So I want to say it reminds me a bit of, okay, I'm taking all this into my computer, my brain, my computer, and then I go to access a file and it's fragmented because it's gone in and we can't get it back out. So how do we access where those memories could possibly be stored? Well, the brain is very simplistic. I like to think of the brain as being like a child. Like you have to be very specific when you are asking questions, because it's not always an elaborate, it's often a very simplified response. So the information can also go in to the brain and be chunked together. So it could be a movement, a color, a smell. Think of someone, for instance, that maybe's had a car accident. And I'll give you a case. So driving, you can see the in your rear view mirror that this car is going to rear end you. You hang onto the steering wheel, you brace yourself, and you are jarred by the impact. So you have lots of things going on. You have a physical injury potentially. You have this memory of knowing this car is going to hit you. You have the action of gripping onto that steering wheel. And so as the body tries to unwind from that particular stressor, How do we access, and is it possible to access the chunked information of the brain remembering the stress? Sometimes we have to go in and do this exercise, which is exactly what I had to do in this particular case. This is a true story of a woman who was injured in a rear end accident, and she was all better. Her neck pain was better, her back pain was better in a few months, but she had a problem with her thumb. And why couldn't we get her thumb? No matter what we did with her thumb, it just still had this ache and pain in the joint. She underwent MRI and all sorts of testing, and really, what was it? It was information from the accident that was chunked in her brain, and we needed to separate the stress from the memory and from the action of holding on to that steering wheel. So let me show you right now what we did. So I'm going to give you this in the chat, and those of you that are watching the replay, it will come in the email, okay? These are the written instructions, and I will drop those in. And I think I even have the link in the slide, but let me talk you through it first, okay? So this is my technique. So thumbs to ring fingers, okay? The mudra. This is the Rudra mudra in yoga. Got it? Thumbs, ring fingers. These two fingers are kind of left over, if you will. The pinkies just get to hang out and do nothing. We're going to put your hands on your forehead. And while you're thinking about the stressful thing, in this case, the woman was thinking about getting rear-ended. And you're going to take your eyes into a complete circle, thinking about the stressful thing. Okay? So in her case, she was thinking about the anticipation of the accident. She was gripping the steering wheel, right? So you go around one direction, doesn't matter which way you start or stop, and then go back the other direction. So for you, you take a simplified stressor. I'm going to use my taxes. So here I go. All right. And this is how my brain works for me. All right, I have to gather all of the places where I could have 1099s because they don't even send them to you anymore. You have to go log in online to anybody who's paid you money, and you have to go search for your 1099 tax form. And then I have to get them all ready to upload to the website for my CPA. Okay. And then I have to, I keep a running total on paper because I'm kind of old school. And gosh, what if I missed one? And do I have all my receipts for my expenses? And what else are they going to need? And la, 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 right? Because that's how my brain works. I just go from thing to thing to thing. So in your case, take your stressor. Maybe it's difficulty with somebody at work. Maybe it's teenage angst, where you have, a teenager at home that may not want to participate in household chores. I don't know. I'm just pulling it out of thin air. Whatever that is, you're going to take the thumb to ring finger, these two fingers go on the forehead, and while thinking about the stressor. So, where else have you ever learned to think about the stressor? Everybody else says float on an island, listen to calm music, like try to avoid it. We're not avoiding it because you are ruminating about it anyway, and it continues to come up, bubble to the surface, and sometimes it's like everywhere you look. And it just doesn't seem like you're getting very far because it keeps coming up. So instead of trying to forget about it, we're going to meet it head on. We're going to access where the memories could possibly be stored. And this is the measurable part is we know that blood pressure rises when you're stressed. When you do this technique, your blood pressure actually comes down and it stays down. Sometimes when you're going through, you may find that something else comes up that you didn't realize was associated with that particular stress. Could be somebody shouting, could be whatever the thing is, right? So you take that next little layer that comes up and process that. And you may feel a sensation, and that's actually your blood pressure coming down. It's pretty darn amazing. So We're resetting your nervous system by doing this 1 minute stress release technique. So that is magical, in my opinion. So I have an in-depth explanation as to the different kinds of stressors in my book, 1 Minute Stress Release, Eliminate Anxiety and Improve Your Health, published on Amazon. My links will be in the email coming to you. Here is the technique. I've got it all written out, and this is a Google Doc. There you go. Look at that. I'll give you the Google Doc. You'll get the same exact document. Okay. So this is my stressed, oh, maybe the pictures won't come up. This is my stressed face from a long time ago. You'll see it when you open it. There it is. So my hair was really short. Um, and I have written everything out for you. Okay. Um, Place your ring finger pad to your pad of your thumb on each hand. Place the index and middle fingers on from both hands on the frontal eminence or the bumps of your forehead. And when you're thinking about or engaging in the stressful thought, the negative message, move your eyes in a circle, complete circles far to the edge of your vision as you can, rotating your eyes and go around one direction and then the other. Okay? And the sensation you feel is your blood pressure coming down. We can also put in positive things. This is something I absolutely love. So once we've dealt with the stressors, in my case, taxes, we're going to put in positives. So I love, accept, and respect myself. 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 How cool is that? So you can take, perhaps you already have a document that tells you uh, positive things. So, like Louise Hay type of affirmations. You may already have affirmations, which is great. So use your affirmations. Do you remember back in school when we did positives and negatives? Well, guess what? A double negative is actually a positive. So, how cool is that? So, let me go back. So, a double negative, I no longer feel. That is a double negative. So if you start with, I no longer feel anxious, and then do the positive, what's the opposite of anxious? Calm, relaxed. Choose your word. I feel relaxed. So I no longer feel negative word. I feel positive word. I no longer feel stressed about having to gather all of these documents for my taxes. I feel accomplished in being able to find all of my 1099s. I feel accomplished in able to find my 1099s. So you can put positives back in, which is really helpful. And this technique is the foundation for the rest of my courses. So you've already learned how to instantly reset your energy with 1 minute stress release. In my course, I teach you how to use muscle testing to uncover hidden stresses and get the answers that your body already knows. So, muscle testing, you can use a finger, you can use your arm muscle, you can surrogate test using somebody else's muscle. You can put saliva on a Q-tip in a Ziploc bag and tuck it in, and then use your own muscle to test somebody else, because once you have their saliva, you can get answers from that person. Amazing. Who would have thought? It's a great way to test for food sensitivities. Once you know how to muscle test or sway test, stand like a pendulum, and you can use your own body to ask yes, no questions, and you'll get an indicator for a yes or for a no. You can't test through metal. So testing a can of tuna is not going to work. And you also can't stand in front of a pregnant woman and say, is this baby a boy or a girl? Because we can't get through the mom in order to get to the baby. But there are widely awesome things that you can discover about your own health, and your body knows. And that was Caroline Sutherland. That was the title of her book, Your Body Knows. Amazing. Um, we're also going to learn in my, I have a course, it's 9 courses in a series, how to protect your energy so that you stop absorbing negative energy from others. Also, how to strengthen your intuition and start trusting your inner guidance. And so this is what, woohoo, this is what that course looks like. So, um, the foundational course is the 1 minute stress release you learned today. And then the next course in this series is the rapid stress solution. I like to call it the pause and pause technique. So you use your hands, you create a pause, and it's a subtle way. This is a very obvious, oh, people can tell I'm stressed. The pause technique is a very subtle, and no one will know you're doing it, and will calm your energy and anxiousness down in that very moment. I have other tools that I teach for self-discovery. So muscle testing, sway testing, different ways of getting yes, no answers is in course 3. The emotional stress layer is the deeper way to get into the subconscious from the emotional layers. And in that, I am going to look at emotion code. If you've ever done work with the emotion code, it is a great tool and a great technique. However, they only test one side of the body. They don't test for right brain and left brain. And so it's really important. You could clear things, but it may only be one-sided, and that's why things continue to come up. So we'll look at the deeper emotional layers and create awareness and create healing. Course number 5, the life map. Amazing when you map out your life and you look at all the twists and the turns, and then you use the foundational course of 1 minute stress release on the life map, we can create some real change. Course number 6 is all about energy enhancements. Course number 7 is intuition and inner wisdom, reconnecting to that self. Course number 8, protection, strength, and expanding that energy bubble, moving your energy in and out. And then the synergy is putting it all together. Here's the 1 minute stress release we were talking about. Instantly shift chaos to calm, improve your mental clarity and focus, and reduce your physical tension and anxiety. Course number 2, that pause technique. So you get to pause and collect yourself. It's a discrete technique that you can use anywhere. You'll regain control in a high stress moment, like testifying in court. I mean, how much more stressful could that be? Which I had to do, and it's a technique that I actually used. It's ideal for meetings and presentations and being in the public eye. Muscle testing, we talked about that quite a bit. Gain clarity on health issues, emotional issues. We could do food sensitivities, identify stress patterns, release emotional baggage with the emotional stress, the deeper work, increasing your resilience, creating that life map so you can actually see and gain clarity when you make your map. And I like to use Canva because I like to automate it. You don't have to, but it's a lot of fun. And yes, yes. Susan was just asking, it's a bit like cut and paste and drawing when you use Canva, which is very true. Maybe that's why I like it. And you can make icons and all sorts of things. Once we've released the deeper stressors, we've actually been able to get at those layers, and you have a deeper awareness of where you've been and what your goals are and where you're going, we can then create that accelerated form of manifestation. And let me tell you, we are in an acceleration time for sure. Course number 7 is the intuitive innate self. So we're going to strengthen your ability to trust your intuition, improve your decision making, and uh, you'll have clearer insights, reconnect with your higher self. And these are subtle but powerful techniques. The energy bubble, so much fun. And quite honestly, you'll be able to write something on post-it notes um, and fold it up, and you'll create a bunch of them, and then you'll pick up the post-it note and you'll hold it, and you'll get a sensation from just the words on the paper that you can't see. And so you'll build that innate trust in yourself, and then we'll teach you how to stay grounded and centered during that stressor. And then the synergy, putting it all together, building that mastery. Uh, Foundational skills, yes. Mastery skills, yes. And empowerment, and connecting you to the universe. So really looking to connect not only the mind, body, spirit, but really to that source energy. And that's what happens when we go through this course. You're really looking for putting all the pieces together, right? So foundation, emotion, clearing, and then working on the energy piece in order to get mastery. So when you signed up for the webinar, you saw on the form, choose the webinar at zero cost. And I have put together uh, a total, I think it's, if you were to take each class individually, uh, I put it together an estimate of about $2,900. And so I'm offering the 9 course bundle for $99, which is a bargain. When I learned each section of these courses, they were like $497 each. And so because I've changed them and I'm offering the 1 minute stress release at no cost, I really want everyone to benefit from 1 minute stress release. Take it and share it, and help other people. That's really the foundation. Um, yeah. So this is what I started with initially. Um, we really want, I really want you to be able to have all the parts and look at this as a whole program. Um, it can be guided, it can be self-guided. The videos are available, or I'm more than happy to do this as a live webinar. It all depends on what your needs are. I will do it each way. I will do it both ways, and then we will have weekly get-togethers so that we can discuss what you're learning. And I'm truly excited to be able to bring this to you. So go to I know intuitive is spelled differently, isn't it? intutive.me. Do you know why? They wanted like $35,000 for the Intuitive Me website. And I said, oh, I don't think so. I think people will forgive me for forgetting one of the I's. So, Intuitive Me webinar. And I look forward to seeing you. Let me make sure that everybody has what they need. I'm just going to run through the chat here real quick. Yep. 1 minute stress release, and then that muscle testing piece, clearing the emotional blocks, the energy protection, and the strengthening the intuition, um, for sure. I will send you as well the polarity balancing. And thank you for reminding me. I will go grab it. I think it's in my Canva. and I can drop it into the chat or I'll send it with the email. Okay. So I'll send it with the email. So if you're watching the replay, you will get the 1 minute stress release technique written out, and you'll also get the polarity exercise. And I will grab that link right now. Here, I can even share and show you what it looks like. So the polarity correction is actually done by massaging, okay? So you're going to put one finger below the chin and one finger here in the fulcrum underneath the nose, right? And then four fingers go under the belly button and the thumb above it, so where the red dots are, and you're going to massage. So central governing meridians, and then switch your hands. Massage like 30 seconds. And then you're going to do the next slide is the K27s. So these red dots are the K27s. Massage those. And that resets your polarity. So when you do any kind of energy work, muscle testing, anything like that, you will then have your yeses being yeses and your noes being noes. Because if you've had any kind of interruption in the body's electrical, you may not get correct information. So we want to make sure that you start out by asking a simple question like, my name is Marie, or my name is Brenda. My name should not be Brenda when I ask. If I'm muscle testing, if I'm doing a sway test, if I'm using a pendulum, you want to know that you have the proper yes and you have the proper no, and there can be interference. So, somebody that carries their cell phone around all the time, that could be interfering with your body's natural polarity. If you're around magnets, I know a few people that work at the hospital, and when they are around the MRI machine, their polarity ends up being a problem. So we want to make sure that you have good yeses and good nos when you're doing any kind of testing in that way. I really am so glad that you joined me today, and I hope to see you in the course. And reach out if you have any questions, and we'll talk to you really soon. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day.